Hello, everybody. I'll wait a couple minutes let everybody get in here. It is Friday, September 27th, 2024. We are a month and 8 days away from Election Day. Oh, excuse me. A month, 36 days. No, 39 days. We are 39 days away from Election Day. And we're almost as close to Election Day as how many days Kamala Harris has tried to not have a press conference or an interview with somebody besides a lackey of the Democrat Party. So that's why nobody has a clue what she truly stands for. Nobody has a clue. Go! They have a lane to turn into. She's some Christmas, dude. I love how some people are moronic drivers. Anyway, so nobody has a clue what she stands for. She talks in circles and says she's going to do stuff that aligns more with Marxist principles than with democratic principles. I'm a big believer in the free market. One of the things in the free market is if you sell something for a price, if the demand is there for that item at that price, you will sell it. And if you sell it for that much, the competitor can sell it for that much, or if the competitor wants to, they can sell it for less. Because if the demand is at this level, at this price, then the demand for that item at this price will be at this level, and you sell more. That's how Walmart runs its business, guys. I am very enthused by the Robert Kennedy food safety chats that they've been having lately, and the reform they want to do with the FDC, I believe, or FTC, one of the two. I always get those acronyms mixed up because there's so many government conglomerate alphabet soups out there. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But the FTC, that's right, Federal Trade Commission. Anyway, or what is it? Foods, FTC, Federal. No, that's the Federal Trade Commission. FEC, no, FCC is Federal Communication Commission. I don't know. Hello, Sunil. How are you? But anyway, besides the point is they're trying to eliminate a bunch of stuff, and it's amazing to see how far ahead of the power curve the UK is on us when it comes to items that are unsafe to eat, yet they're still found in food in the US, but they're not found in the food in the UK. Now, a new video just came out showing that the UK is trying to ban any and all knives of a certain type. So, I don't know if any of you have ever seen those zombie, what was the brand name? It was like zombie killer knives or zombie retribution knives. You know, they've got the cool shapes of the blades, and they got the really cool, comfortable rubber handles, and they come in the sizes of machetes all the way to the handheld recurves. And the UK is trying to ban all of those. I mean, the UK doesn't let people own guns, so they have terrorist knife attacks in the UK. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My point is, the UK, when it comes to food safety, is way ahead of us. and I can't wait to see us catch up and eliminate a lot of these chemicals, because there was a Senate hearing regarding food safety, and what they showed was a bunch of different ingredients of items these were in the US, these were in the UK. Here's the chemicals that this it has in the UK, here's the chemicals this has in the US. I believe one of them they were showing only had like 3 chemicals. Oh, that's right, McDonald's French fries. Oh! Cheese and Christmas, dude. You had a mile you could have gone. You did there too. So in the UK, McDonald's French fries have potato, salt, and I believe it's corn oil. No, my horn just sounds like it's from a speedboat. And the salt part is optional. Whereas here in the US, there's so many different additives in the French fries. I'm shocked. I don't ever want to have a McDonald's French fry until this reform goes through and it's just potatoes. Wow. I couldn't believe it, guys. It's on YouTube. I don't have a link to the video. However, I will come back later and post the link. It was a short, but it was a very informative short that showed them asking questions about ingredients and the difference between us and the UK. And it was insane. Because we have so many different chemicals that's in our food, and people wonder why our life expectancy is starting to decrease here in the US compared to everywhere else in the world. It's insane. So that's a good thing that I'm waiting to see RFK take part in once Trump wins and gets into the White House. And as the video title says, survey says Trump. Now, the reason why I say that is when you look at the surveys, you look at the betting markets, and even if it's within the margin of error, what you guys need to realize is they said Hillary Clinton was going to beat Trump hands down. She led almost 5 points in 2016, and Trump still came back and trounced her in the vote and won with over 300 electoral votes. According to surveys that are out there, Trump is looking to win at least 20% of the black vote, has locked in almost half of the legal Hispanic vote, and the majority of conservatives are going to vote for him. The majority of white men are going to vote for him. So all he has to worry about are white women that feel it's okay to kill babies, and the other half of, the other, I think it's 2/3 of the black population that haven't woke up yet. Because being woke doesn't mean you woke up. Being woke means you're woke and you believe in stupidity. And what I mean by that is, look at what Justin Trudeau has done to Canada. He's charged people just for trying to live. He's charged people just for trying to be successful and take care of their families. The average middle-class family in Canada cannot afford groceries and heat. They have to decide one or the other. So during the summer, they stock up on stuff that they can store through the winter, and during the winter, they pay their heating bill. I can't even fathom that. And I'm a single dad of 4. I'm working 2 jobs, 1 side gig, and I'm making it. By all means, I'm making it, and I'm helping take care of my mom as well, I live in her house. But the majority of the stuff I end up doing is just taking care of her and my kids and working. I take off time for my kids' special concerts, which, by the way, speaking of that, we will be live broadcasting on YouTube the choir concert for the middle school here in Brighton, Colorado, and the high school here in Brighton, Colorado. I believe it's next Tuesday and Wednesday, or next Wednesday and Thursday. So if you're one of my local viewers, please be aware of that. I will start the broadcast about 5 minutes prior to show start, and I will have my laptop and everything. And I am going to try and expand it to Twitch. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have the bandwidth for it, so we'll go from there. But that being said, let's move back to what I'm talking about. Vivek Ramaswamy was my pick for vice president. I would have loved to have seen him as vice president just because he is so very eloquent in his wording, how he talks, and how he takes facts and meshes them with people's emotions and pulls people out of their shells and gets them to realize, wait a minute, if what he's saying is true, then what I've believed for all this time, that the leftists and the news media and all those out there that don't have a clue what I truly stand for or who I truly am, all that stuff is lies. Well, if they're lying to me about stupid shit, then they're definitely going to lie to me about something important. And that's a lesson a lot of people need to learn. In relationships, in business, it doesn't matter. If someone's willing to lie to you about something that's that big when it matters to your life, just how much more motivated are they going to be to lie to you about something that affects your life this much? Everybody looks at that, oh, it's just a little white lie, no biggie. No, it's not a little white lie. When someone lies to you, they have no respect for you. When someone has no respect for you, they could care less what your situation is. They could care less what you believe. They could care less what you stand for. They only care about getting their agenda pushed through and using your hands to do it. That's why us as a country cannot let Kamala Harris take the White House. Be elected to take, same thing in my book. Because if she does end up winning the election, it's got to have been by voter fraud with a bunch of illegal immigrants. They've let almost, 10 million immigrants in the last 3.5 years, if not more, that we don't have record of coming in. That's more than enough to swing an election if a local government and swing states lets these people vote. And no, I'm not going off of conspiracy theories. No, I'm not going off of what I think is going to happen. Guys, illegal voting happens. Illegal immigrants voting in elections happens. It may not be on a widespread scale in 2020. It may not have been on a widespread scale in 2016. But think about it. If 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants came in between the 2020 election and the 2024 election, and the original 10 million that were here illegally beforehand, let's say out of 10 million, 2%. That is 200,000 people that illegally voted last time. Now, spread those around, okay, 200,000, not much of a difference. There were some counties that Trump lost by 5,000 people. Okay? Now, you take that 200,000 and you add another 200 to 400,000 to it and spread it in the same areas. Now you have enough people, not only if you can get them to vote illegally, but you've got enough people to guarantee you as a party power from now to the end of this country's existence. That's why I really hope God has his hand on this country. Because if not, we're screwed. I love this country with all my life. I served in the military for this country. And I fought for the freedom that everybody has. Now, I may not have been part of World War II or Korea or Saigon or any of those other battles that we went through. But damn it, guys. I joined the military, went to boot camp, passed it, put on that uniform so I could serve this nation. Because I truly believe in my heart of hearts that the ideals this nation exhibits to the world are those that the world should be based on as a whole. And those that I really feel a majority of will be based on the majority of beliefs will be what the new kingdom of heaven is based on, because they originated out of the Bible. And I really feel that that's where we need to lead this world. Israel has been very busy over the last few days. They've been doing a lot of attacks. If I remember correctly, they launched 40-something missiles, 48 missiles towards 46 designated targets, and hit every single one. Holy cow, guys. 48 for 46 targets. That means they only missed twice and send a second rocket just for good measure. That's a lot of damage. And, you know, war sucks. Because, unfortunately, in war, the innocent suffer. And that's true no matter where you go. No matter where in the world you go, the innocent suffer. Be it women, be it children, be it men, young military-aged men forced into conscription. Do you realize that a lot of our own youth suffered in World War II because they were drafted? They didn't want to go. They didn't have the will to fight. Or some people went because it was a good way to get out of going to jail. They did that too back in the day. And sorry for those that I lost. We hit a dead spot that I rarely hit anymore. It usually doesn't take me offline that long. Sorry. But something we really need to focus on as a world is we need to focus on where people's morals lie and where their hand in the evil is. For example, all those that live on the Gaza Strip, they want to have their own Palestinian country. All the Palestinians that are on the Gaza Strip, they gave power over to Hamas. Well, guess what? When you give power over to terrorists who don't give a flying woo-ha about their about their citizens, they only care about their having their hand over their people. Even more innocents die. If you look around this world, you will always see that no matter what happens in any situation, somebody suffers. Whether it's the guy who gets a speeding ticket, can't afford the speeding ticket, now his kid suffers because he can't buy him the birthday or Christmas present he wants. Yeah, it's not a big suffering to people that can afford stuff like that, but for someone who can't, and that's all he's wished for all year, he suffers emotionally. If it's a toy that could have helped him socially with friends and whatnot, he would suffer that way. If it was something that he wanted and that was meant to steer him down a path that would put him in a career to make him a millionaire, that would not only make him suffer, but the next generation suffer after him. Suffering happens. No matter what you think, no matter what you feel, no matter what you do, suffering is going to happen one way or another. The only thing we can do to limit suffering is to try and be on the just side that God puts us on. And yeah, I know, no one wants to hear about God or Jesus, how he died on the cross for us and how he made a way for our salvation, no matter how evil and mean and cruel we are to the people around us. There's still a path to salvation, no matter what. And as far as I can tell from what I've read from the Bible, there is no unforgivable sin. They may say it in the Old Testament, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it to where it makes sense. The translation, everything else. There is always a path to salvation. Just like there's always a path to peace, and there's always a path to prosperity. Now, a lot of people on the left will say that a path to prosperity starts with stepping on the heads and the backs of other people. I completely disagree. That may be how some people do it, but that's not always how it starts. I feel that a lot of prosperity starts with two people, an idea, and then lifting each other up to accomplish their goals together as a team. That's the same way a married couple should work. Hand in hand, holding each other up and making sure each one has the support they need, and when one is weak, the other is strong. And when one is mad, the other is calm. When one is sad, the other one cheers them up, or is there to support them through the hard times. When I was young, and when I was a very young Christian, I used to think that every other religious symbol was evil. But when you do your research and you actually look into it, a lot of other religious symbols make a lot of sense when you compare them to the aspects of the Bible. For example, what I was just talking about, a married couple, yin and yang, okay? The yin and yang balance each other out. And inside of each yin and inside of each yang, there's a little bit of yang in the yin and a little bit of yin in the yang. And they balance each other out. And they create a circle. Well, a circle is something that's united. If you take a circle and you cut it in 3 equal pieces, and I'm talking just the circle line, it creates this symbol right here. The symbol of the Trinity. Think about that. Our country could be better. Our economy could be better. The way we treat each other could definitely be better. But I can tell you right now that no matter where you go, when it comes to a Trump rally, you'll be welcome. But if you try and as a conservative or a Republican try and go to a Democrat rally to check them out and you're wearing anything that's pro-Trump or pro-Republican or anti-abortion, if you leave without getting assaulted, you're lucky. If you leave without getting yelled at, it's a miracle. I posted on Instagram, take that back. I didn't post. I sent my daughter a post from Instagram a few weeks ago that showed a guy standing in the middle trying to be unbiased. And he's talking to both sides. And he talks to the right and he talks to the left. Well, when he talks to the right, they tell him their ideals. They tell him what they believe in. And they ask him questions to understand where he stands. Then he goes and he talks to the people on the left. And people on the left call him a xenophobe and a racist and a sexist and every other name in the book, and they push him over to the right. And then they wonder why those that once stood in the middle and took neither side now take the side of the right. It's because they pushed them there. The left and the Democrats have no clue exactly how far they are pushing the libertarians, the conservatives, and the middle-of-the-road Republicans, and even some of the middle-of-the-road Democrats over to the right. Heck, there was who was it? I think it was a Democrat governor, Democrat mayor from, I think it was either Virginia or Georgia, one of the two. He put on a MAGA hat. Like, holy cow! He was on Fox News this morning, and I'm just like, you've got to be. That is insane. That the left, the Democrats, have pushed him so hard and so far that he ripped the D off after his name, put an R, and put on a MAGA cap and said, let's go. Let's fight for this country the way Trump would fight, because that's the way it looks like we're going to have to fight to be successful, to defend this country, to defend this country's ideals, and to take this country back in the correct direction. Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate for Kamala, said it perfectly. We cannot take 4 more years of this. I laughed really hard when he said that. Because the last person that was in power, the person that's currently in power is Biden and Kamala. So, yes, Tim Walz was exactly right about his own campaign and about his presidential candidate above him. We cannot, as a country, take 4 more years of this garbage. We need a better president. And you know what? No matter how you slice it, when it comes to actions and policy and where our world was 3.5 years ago and where our economy was 3.5 years ago and the independence we were when it came to oil and gas, no matter how you cut it, Trump is the only way to go. You can disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to call you a name. I'm not going to tell you you're an idiot. I'm going to tell you I think you're wrong. Because Trump has never done anything that he couldn't. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Trump has never done anything for this country that wasn't meant to be the best for this country. Trump has never done anything for this country that he didn't think was justified by the Constitution and was backed by the Constitution. I wanna kill a couple lies that the Democrats like to talk about, and I try and attack these lies every time because I want everybody to know that they're lies. And you can check them on Snopes.com. Snopes, SNOPES.com, is not a conservative website. They actually lean more liberal. And they have even debunked all of these lies that the Democrats like to spew. So, first lie. Losers and suckers. Trump didn't say it. It's a lie. 100% bold-faced lie. Number 2. Trump did not call neo-Nazis fine people. When Trump made that comment, he was talking about people being hurt on both sides of the argument of abortion. Again, check Snopes. They've got it on there. The third lie, that Trump is responsible and going to be enacting the 2025 plan. No. Trump wasn't part of writing that. Trump had nothing to do with it. And Trump will not be enacting it. That's another bold-faced lie. And they're trying so hard to tie him to this. And I called this shit like 2 months ago. I knew when Project 2025 came out, they were going to try and tie Trump to it because it was so far right. Now, as a Christian, do I believe a lot of those things should happen? I do. But is it reasonable to think they will or that Trump will back them? No, it's not. For example, Trump will not do a nationwide ban on abortion. Trump feels that abortion should be left up to the states, and that's where he's going to leave it. And he has said outright that if they bring him a nationwide ban to his desk, he will not sign it. He will veto it. The Board of Education, the Department of Education, I feel should either be gotten rid of, eliminated, or it should be reformed. Because when it comes to education, our children are losing the battle. Our children are not coming out of high school in certain areas of the country as smart now as they were 20 years ago. There's stuff that I still know from high school. Hell, no, stuff I still know from middle school and elementary school that my kids still don't know yet, and none of my kids are in elementary school, guys. When I was in elementary school in 5th grade, my teacher, Mrs. Morton, she taught us all every state and every capital of every state in this country. You can go ask my children what a state is, and half of them are confused. We went to oh my gosh, I'm not proud to say this, but this is how bad the school system is, guys. My children and I went to Wyoming. I even said, we're going to Wyoming. And my child's like, well, where's that in Colorado? There you go. It's that bad. And we either need to reform the Department of Education, or we need to eliminate it and let the states have their own departments of education, and then let people choose. But the one thing I feel that they do need to do nationwide is they need to tie the money, tax money for each student, needs to be tied to the student and where the student goes. Meaning, if a student wants to go to this school over here on the east side of town, even though they live on the west side of town, as long as they can get enrolled before all the spots are full, have at it. And the money that is supposed to be used to put those kids through school follows them to that school. And the reason why I believe that is, oh, there we go. I knew I had something in my throat. I just got it out. Good. One of the reasons why I believe in that so much is, let's say you live in a certain area of town, the schools aren't that great, the teachers don't give a shit because they make minimum wage, because the school scores, the test scores are not that good. And the teachers are, instead of having a union that gives them a raise every year and supports a political party, what if they're independent? What if they pay them on test scores? Pay them on their ability to teach the subjects they're demanded and required to teach. You do that, and when teachers start getting paid by results, the bad teachers will go away, more good teachers will come in, and our school systems will improve like that. I guarantee, and everybody can say I'm full of shit, whatever, I guarantee if we went to a metric where teachers were judged on how good they taught and how well they educate their students, as opposed to just going to work 9 to 5, grading papers in the evenings and having all summers off, if they actually were judged on their results and they were terminated or given raises based on their results, our school systems and our test scores as a country would increase by minimum 20 points in 5 years. Minimum. But we have to have someone in office strong enough to put a plan like that in place. Kamala's not going to do it. Tim Walz isn't going to do it. Biden sure as hell wouldn't have done it. I think Trump will, with the right person in the Department of Education. I really feel Nancy Voss, if she gets back into the Department of Education, I think she could do it this time, and I think that's going to be what's best for this country. With that being said, guys, I am going to go start getting ready for dinner for the kiddos. I will be streaming at 6 o'clock on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. I'm going to be playing Fortnite tonight, hopefully with my best friend from Texas, and going from there. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I mean it when I say this. You guys give me a commodity that you can't get back, you can't steal, you can't earn any more of, and that's time. Time is one of the most precious things we have on this earth. And I encourage all of you, if you have a parent or a child, that you don't spend much time with, change that. Increase the amount of time you invest in that child. Increase the amount of time you invest in that parent and time you spend with that parent so they can invest in you more. Because one day, when that parent's no longer here, or God forbid that child's no longer there, you're going to regret not spending enough time with them. No one ever went to their grave knowing they were going to die and said, "Man, I wish I'd worked another shift. I wish I'd bought another car. I wish I'd watched another movie." No. They always regret not spending enough time with their family and their loved ones, the ones that mean the world to them, and the ones that should mean the world to you guys. Keep that in mind. Be blessed. See you at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I am out of here, everybody. Peace!